Israel Defense Forces spokesman Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner is in Jerusalem. He joins us now live. Lieutenant Colonel, thank you for being with us. Just explain to us the operational goal here. How do you define success of Operation Protective Edge? When will it be done?
Well, what we know at this stage is that Hamas have decided to not reciprocate our intentions to try and de-escalate the situation from last week. And what they've actually done is launched a huge barrage of rockets against Israel. What we are doing in this mission is safeguarding the population of the State of Israel, putting our forces forward so that they are the buffer to our civilians. It's an unacceptable situation. We're not willing just to let it go by, and we have to operate in order to protect them.
Sure. With what you just said there regarding Hamas, the spokesman for Hamas is warning that Israel will pay for these airstrikes. This is what Sami Abu Zaghir said a short time ago overnight. Listen to part of this.
The assassination of 9 members of the Qassam brigades last night is a dangerous aggression. Israeli occupation is pursuing its aggression, and that means they were not interested in calm, and therefore we stress the right of our people and our resistance to defend themselves in the face of this aggression. We stress that the occupation will pay the price for its crimes.
So that was Sami Abu Zaghir. He was speaking from Gaza. So in other words, Hamas seems to have no intention of winding this back. Is that how you see it?
So what that he actually exemplified is their clear intentions to continue to target Israeli civilians. That is what they're doing. That's what they've done this morning. Just as I was sitting down in this studio here in Jerusalem, I was receiving more reports of more rockets being launched from Gaza at Israeli towns. We have, kindergartens which are closed in the south. Anybody that is in a radius of 40 kilometers has been ordered not to stay near and close to shelters. This is a reality we cannot live with, and the IDF is, we are determined to restore a state of security for our civilians. Okay. It's just a natural thing to do.
Let's talk about the ground operation, because we've seen a lot of images of a lot of tanks and APCs and troops massing on the border not far from Gaza. First of all, what would be the trigger for a ground operation, and are we talking a limited operation like you've done in the past, where you divide the Gaza Strip up into sections, or are we talking about a more extensive ground operation where troops will actually go in and they'll go door to door and they will go after what you call these terrorist training grounds, the Hamas crucial targets, I guess, if you like?
Well, what we are doing currently is preparing ourselves for a deterioration, for a further escalation. I don't want to go into specifics clearly for our operational security concerns, but indeed we need to be prepared to mobilize our forces on the ground if required. Indeed, we also have capabilities from our Air Force, from our naval forces that have operated overnight against specific targets, pinpoint precision, targeting Hamas infrastructure, the people that are carrying out the rocket attacks, the people are leading the rocket attacks. It's unacceptable. They cannot go without paying for this.
Sure. In an operational sense, though, this is often called cutting the grass, essentially reducing the militants' operational capability, reducing the amount of missiles they have, their ability to fire them. Can you tell me, is this operation which is currently underway, is it much more than that? Are you going after their entire operational capability here? Is this going to be a much bigger operation than we have seen for many years?
Well, as we have a crafted and designed plan of action to basically face 2 main components of the situation. Indeed, to strike Hamas, I would say critically, as a terrorist organization, constantly attacking us, and on the second level is to deplete their rocket capabilities, that it no longer poses such a huge and immense threat to the towns of Israel. We have to be prepared to utilize all of the tools that we have at hand to confront this terrorist organization.
And your intelligence right now indicates that these long-range missiles that are in the possession of Hamas in Gaza actually have the ability of striking Jerusalem and Tel Aviv?
Well, absolutely. They have amassed a huge stockpile of about 10,000 rockets. That's what we are, our assessment. And they have launched rockets in the past at Tel Aviv, and we have to expect that. And yeah, we are taking the necessary measures to intervene.
Sorry to interrupt, sir, but if one of these long-range missiles is fired and targets are hit in Tel Aviv, what happens then? Are all bets off and this just escalates beyond what anyone could expect?
I mean, if there is no blue blood in Tel Aviv, all Israeli civilians are at risk from Tel Aviv going south. We have to operate in order to safeguard everybody, whether they live in the town of Sderot, in Beersheva, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Netivot, Ofakim, everywhere that they've hit over the last few days, and potential that Tel Aviv could be struck as well is on the table. We're not willing for that to happen. We are operating to safeguard our civilians, and we will do that.
Okay, so we'll leave it there, but we appreciate you coming in. Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner joining us there from Jerusalem, giving us some operational details about Operation Protective Edge. Thank you, sir.